Why you do this? Understand yourself. Why do you keep attracting strong personalities and losing yourself inside them? Why does it feel easy in the beginning, almost relieving, like you don't have to think as much, like someone else is taking the lead, like things are just flowing? But then something shifts. Slowly, quietly, you start holding back, you start adjusting, you start shrinking, your voice gets softer, your opinions get filtered, your needs get delayed, and suddenly, you're not fully there anymore. And the worst part? You can feel it happening, and still not stop it. And in the end of this video, you'll understand why this pattern keeps repeating, what it's actually protecting inside you, and how to break it without becoming someone you're not. It doesn't start toxic, that's why it's confusing. It starts smooth, easy, natural. They take initiative, they decide things, they lead conversations, they have presence, and something in you relaxes. You don't have to carry everything. You don't have to push. You don't have to fight for space. So you lean into it. And at first, it feels good. But over time, you start disappearing in small ways. And those small ways add up. This isn't about them being too much. This is about something in you recognizing something familiar. Your system sees their energy and says, I know this. I know how to be in this dynamic. So you automatically take a role. You become more adaptive, more flexible, more accommodating, without deciding to. It just happens, because it's learned, because it's practiced, because it once worked, and now it runs on autopilot. And here's the part most people don't want to admit. There's something comfortable about it. Not healthy, but familiar. You don't have to fully take space. You don't have to fully risk rejection. You don't have to fully stand in your truth, because they're already filling the space. So you stay slightly behind, slightly adjusted, slightly safe, but that safety comes with a cost. Because the more you stay there, the more you disconnect from yourself. Your nervous system doesn't choose what's healthy. It chooses what's familiar, even if that familiarity makes you smaller, even if it slowly erases your voice, even if it keeps you stuck. Because familiar feels predictable, and predictable feels safe. So when you meet someone dominant, your system locks into that pattern. Not because it's right, but because it's known, and that's why it feels natural, even when it's not good for you. Then your mind tries to fix it. You think, I just need to be more assertive. I need to speak up more. I need to stop letting this happen. So you try, you push yourself, you force certain behaviors, but it doesn't stick, because you're trying to change behavior, without changing the pattern underneath. And that creates frustration, because you know what you should do, but in the moment, you still fall back into it. And here's what you need to see clearly. Strong personalities are not the problem by themselves. But certain people will naturally take more space if it's available. They will lead, decide, direct, not always out of bad intention, sometimes just out of habit. But if no one meets them with equal presence, the balance shifts. And if you're used to adjusting, you will unconsciously allow that shift. Again and again, until it becomes the dynamic. And this is where you slowly disappear. Not in one big moment, but in small ones. You don't say what you really think. You go along with decisions. You avoid tension. You prioritize harmony. You tell yourself it's not a big deal. But it adds up, until you feel it. That quiet frustration, that inner tension, that feeling of being there, but not fully there. And the worst part is, you start losing clarity about yourself. This is the loop. They take space. You adjust. They lead more. You step back more. They become stronger in the dynamic. You become smaller in the dynamic. Not because of one decision, but because of repeated micro-adjustments. And over time, this becomes your normal. Until you wake up one day, and realize you don't feel like yourself anymore. At the core of this, is not weakness. It's adaptation. You learned somewhere that keeping things smooth matters. That avoiding conflict matters. That staying likable matters. That not being too much matters. And maybe, you learned that your value increases when you're easy to be around. So you became that, not fake, not weak, but highly adaptable, and that adaptability is now being used against you. And over time, you start believing this is just who you are. I'm just more chill, I don't need much, I'm easygoing. But what if that's not the full truth? What if that's the version of you that learned to survive certain dynamics? What if there's more in you? More opinions, more presence, more direction, more leadership that you haven't fully allowed yet? So let's remove the shame. You're not attracting the wrong people because you're broken. You're repeating a dynamic that feels familiar. And once you see that, you stop blaming yourself blindly. You stop blaming others blindly, and you start seeing the pattern clearly. And this is where something shifts. Because now, you're not stuck. You're aware, and awareness changes everything. Start noticing your role in real time, not after, during. When someone takes the lead, what do? Do you automatically step back? Do you go quiet? Do you agree too fast? Do you let things slide? That's the moment. Don't judge it, just see it, because once you see your automatic response, you create space to choose differently. Now introduce small resistance, not aggression, not force, just presence. Pause before agreeing, say what you actually think. Hold your opinion for 1 extra second. Let there be a little tension. And watch what happens. Some people will adjust, some people won't, and this is the key moment. Because now you're not adapting automatically, you're participating consciously. The solution is not to avoid strong personalities. The solution is to stop disappearing around them. Because the moment you stay present, the entire dynamic changes. Either it balances, or it breaks. And both outcomes are valuable. Because if it breaks, it means it was built on your absence. And if it balances, it means it can handle your presence. And that is the standard you need to have. You don't need to become louder. You don't need to become aggressive. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop leaving yourself in the moment. Because every time you stay present, you reinforce something new. You teach your system that your voice matters. Your space matters. You matter. And over time, that changes who you attract. That changes how you relate. That changes how you feel in your own life. Do you think people would still stay if you stopped shrinking to keep the peace?